How many of you guys have actually checked out the daily? Okay, that's awesome. How many subscribers? Oh. All right. We'll work on it. Hey, it's cheap. It's $1 a week, right? $40 a year. Come on. Here is my shock and awe presentation right here. So we spend, as you know, if you've seen it, a ton of energy and effort on design. Design is one of the most important things that we're doing at the Daily. Not just the app itself, which is designed pretty well. We've already iterated on it a few times and made it better. But essentially on the editorial design. Because we really believe that our goal in engaging readers requires that we have photos, video, good writing, original reporting, interactive content. And really the truth of it is that design is the glue that puts all these things together, right? I don't need to tell you guys this. This is like a design conference. You know this intrinsically. However, this is the thing that we're doing. And it's really cool for me to be a part of a team that's really recognized. And so it's a really exciting place to be right now for our whole staff. And it's a magazine experience. And we do it every single day. So tonight, a bunch of my buddies are getting to work right now. They're going to be working till midnight, 2, 3 in the morning to put out the app that's going to get published at 4 in the morning. And then they're going to get up and do it again the next day. So it's a magazine look, but it's a newspaper schedule, which is pretty freaking ambitious, let me tell you. Oh, and by the way, we design it all twice because we do it all horizontally and vertically in both orientations every day. So count it up, 100 pages, handcrafted design, no RSS feeds, none of that stuff is happening, times 2 every single day. It's not a small project. It's tough sometimes. I mean, I'll tell you. But we have a pretty good team that we've gotten over a lot of the bumps and hurdles of being a startup, brand new news company with no brand legacy behind us. And like I said earlier, there's some young folks in the room, and I'm really glad that Brian mentioned the no doom and gloom approach here, because I just think that this industry is ripe for talented, smart young people that have lots of different types of skills. I mean, I was just sitting next to Michael right here, and he was telling me a minute ago that he was side studying journalism, but he's also an IS person, so he's an information scientist. This is the people we want to hire, right? Guys that have this whole double brain thing going on, but then really care about telling stories at the same time. So I think it's a good time to be in here. And we at the Daily feel like we are a little bit the canary in the coal mine, right? We know this is new. We're going in first. Obviously this is Rupert Murdoch's company, so he's sending us off, this little tiny group inside of his big mega corporation. And if we come out alive, great, but we are the canaries and we know it. So one of our goals is to create news that pops. This is something we talk about in the newsroom. We have a lot of focus on our covers. Our editor-in-chief, Jesse Angelo, literally it's fun working with him because he'll grab a piece of paper and a Sharpie and start sketching out ideas on a piece of paper. We'll get it off to a designer. We'll then turn it from a Sharpie piece of paper sketch into potentially a dynamic 360 photograph, or potentially a motion graphics piece, or potentially something that's truly interactive for a user to use their fingers and swipe through different things as animation and graphics are happening. So it's kind of a big focus. The cover is a big deal for Jesse every day, so we spend a lot of time on that. And as you know, photography looks phenomenal on this device, so we tend to use a lot of photography, and we try to use it in interesting ways that are appropriate to tell stories. Like if you have a really large photo, you could swipe across, for example. Check it out in multiple orientations. We have a few different photo type templates where we're doing full screen stuff. We're doing stuff with captions. We also have some sort of interactive photos, this kind of thing where you can swipe across 2 photos to reveal. This is a fun thing that you can do. And if you'll notice from reading the Daily likes to have a little bit of fun in the news also, as well as hit some serious stories. And so you can use the same tool for a serious story as well, like Oslo before and after. But so these are tools that we've got. Actually, that's an HTML5 plugin that we use. We also can run sort of vertically or horizontally. We have full custom control over the way the pages are laid out, right? So if I decide as an art director that, well, I think that for this particular piece, we need to have 6 photos, we're going to scroll down, we're going to have this kind of type treatment, we're going to have captions here, 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 here. I can just lay all that out in Photoshop, give it to a production designer to build it up in our CMS. If I decide I want to go sideways, if I want to decide I want to go catacorner, I can do that because we have total freedom and control inside of our CMS to build stuff. It's just a little tricky, but we know how to do it now. And yeah, we also do quite a bit of original reporting that could be quite expensive, and we'll spread it out over multiple days. So every single day there's a new issue. I know we don't have an archive right now available for folks, so we tend to spread things out over a couple days if it's a longer story that we've invested a fair bit of resources into. This one, I don't know if you guys saw, but it was like a 4-day package where we embedded with a group of military airmen and then did a whole bunch of video and interactive content and original reporting and writing around it, along with adding in interactives and sort of motion graphics content like we have here. We also have been working with this photographer, Jamie Beck, in New York City, who does these beautiful cinemagraphs, where it's basically an animated GIF on steroids. That they're just these beautiful photographs that actually have some motion in them. Animated GIFs are coming back, guys. Look at Google+, animated GIFs. It's a big deal. Who knew? It's like the 90s all over again. Also some basic like touch interactive type stuff, drag and drop. Now the thing that's cool is that we actually have a handful of folks on our design team that are developers, right? So if I come up with a cool idea like, hey man, I want to do this thing where you're dragging the heads into a box, I've got a guy on the team that can write HTML5 from scratch and can build that probably by tomorrow. We got to give him a little lead time. It'd be better if he had like 3 or 4 days, but we have those guys. It's really important to have them because anything we want to do that exists outside of the capabilities of the app, we can do that with HTML5 in its own limitations. I mean, HTML5 is kind of like Flash from 1998, but still, it's at least gives us some more functionality. So yeah, these are things that we're doing. And like I said, I'd love to tell you about the business side, but you can look at our app and see in the comments what people think about us. And this is how I know about our readers. They do say nice things. They also say crazy stuff sometimes, as we've been talking about in the back. But generally, they're pretty engaged. You know, people are commenting a ton on some of our stories, and especially politics stories tend to get a lot of traffic and a lot of comments and a lot of people going back and forth. You can do audio comments in the app too, which is sort of a unique feature as far as I'm aware of, and people use it. And then, you know, we keep learning and adapting, and so we have a custom app. And this was built by one group, and now we have an in-house team of developers that are literally, you know, writing code to create new iterations and versions of the app, you know, right now. They're all working right now on some new stuff. And so we're trying to keep learning. I mean, we only launched a couple months ago, February 2nd, and that was version 1.0. We're currently on 1.1.1. And I can tell you I think we've had 4 updates in this short amount of time. And the nice thing about having it be in-house is that I can go upstairs and like knock on Eugene's door and be like, dude, we need to do this. And not that that's going to happen, but at least we're having those conversations as like a team. And I think that that's a really sort of vibrant thing that's going on regularly there.